let's say I want to add some documentation, right? So nobody really writes to write docs. It's a pretty cumbersome process. So I can just go ahead here and I'm going to copy the file name and I can say, can you create a schema.yml file with documentation for this model? Okay. And press enter. And what we are also now finally instructing to do is to kind of like close the loop to add some nice documentation for us so that this model is easier for people to read it and understand exactly what it does. All this without us spending time on formatting YAMLs. It's pretty painful process all the time. So like all this, like we've been building already like 7 or 8 DBT models and intermediate models. I haven't touched the code editor at all. I haven't wrote any single line of SQL yet. And still, we're able to produce a great quality of code for our user. So you went about adding our schema.yml with descriptions. I was also saying, okay, because it's an intermediate model, I don't expect, and it's a denormalized table, I do not expect to have any node value for some of those columns. I also went about and adding some basic tests for us. Now that we have completed also this step here, we can go and see what are the instructions, what the agent has returned for us in terms of how the task was ultimately completed. I can go ahead now and do a final thing, which is I want to just create a last commit here and click on commit and push. Awesome. So we've done now all this part. Now something I'll be curious as the race is starting pretty soon. Let's go and find out who were the team that won the most in the last 10 years. So I can just go ahead and say, can you create a model in my Paradime Scratch folder to get the team that won the most in the last 10 years in the Australian GP. Okay, let's go and let's do the last thing we want to do. Let's see if we can export the model and the data a bit more. So the table has been already built in our database, so the table should be accessible for us. And if I just now go here and see this is the query that was generated for us. Now, some people that know Paradime Scratch is a way for you to explore data directly in Paradime. I mean that the file stays there, it's not Git tracked. You can do all the stuff you want with it. You can just explore as much as like. You don't lose the file. It's always going to be there for you, but it's not really a model itself that is going to be created in your database. Now, what about, okay, this is the SQL file that we created. Let's go here and let's try and see previous data. Awesome. Well, I'm a massive Ferrari fan, so it kind of like makes me happy so that we're on top of the list in 10 years. Plus, you know, if Hamilton is there this year, we have probably a better chance. We haven't won the world championship in ages. But here you go, like how we went in like 15 minutes all the way from no data, or rather no DBT model at all, creating our sources, creating some documentation, and like really interact in a very natural way so that whether I'm an expert DBT user or not, I'm still able to get to a pretty beautiful and strong outcome to understand more about the data that I have in my database.